Hey people, Injured here, 3v3, Calderis Refinery, blue team. Kim Jong's skill is a Lord General, fights range combat, really good defense and support capabilities, and begins with a retinue that can add to throughout the game. A couple of Eldar alongside. First up is Void Weaver as a Warp Spider Exarch, starts in range combat, really good at capping and harassing, teleporting commander with some awesome control abilities too. And rounding off this blue team is PhatE as an Eldar Warlock, melee commander that can leap into combat, some awesome disruption and mobility, can also tank damage and deal some decent damage with the right war gear, chasing after some scouts. Red team, a whole bunch of Space Marines. We have Broodwich as an Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a target heal and a passive health regeneration aura, forcing off the Warlock. Alongside Mr. 187 is a Force commander, very good offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. A very striking army scheme. Looks like this is the Imperial Fist elite scheme recolored, looks pretty cool there. And rounding off this red team is Ances the Drop King, plays a Techmarine, starts off range combat, really good offense, can also support with structures and repair, and can get a melee weapon. Looks like he's forced to hang back up against this Imperial Guard Lord General. Kicking off mid though, it's a Warp Spider shooting up tactical Marines, but they are behind that heavy cover, and he goes into force melee combat. Really good thing that the Warp Spider can do early on. Force melee combat stops things shooting at your fragile Banshees. Not so fragile these days, up to 750 hit points out the gate, but you still don't want them shot at very much. Warp Spider now in retreat, the rest of his forces going towards the east side. Lord General has pinned back the Space Marine player, that's Ances or Ances. Ances, I would think. Just tactical Marines on the field, no second scout squad for any of the Space Marine players. We have triple gens up and double here, and 6 gens up for the blue team. Looks like we have red team pushing west side and blue team pushing the east side. Makes these a power bash here. No sign of the flamer. No, it is really important to try and force off the tactical Marines in first engagement in a team game, because if you don't, they're going to move up, get their flamer and bash you. Luckily for the blue team in this instance, he does not. It's not that easy to bash power on the refinery maps. It is a bit of a trek in there, and you are susceptible to flanks on both sides. Apothecary forced off. These tactical Marines need to be very careful. Rangers on the field for PhatE. He is getting double Rangers up. Did he not have double Dire Avengers at the start? I'm not sure. 486, 423. What's going on east side? Red team pushing back. Double Space Marines against a single Imperial Guard player. Void Weaver having gone over on the west side to help out. Force Commander lives. Yes, he does. Lord General losing both of his retinue members, but he is pretty difficult to kill, this guy, since he will always die last. His retinue members all die before him. Dire Avengers with an aspect. We do have Catachan Devils on the field for Kim Jong's skill. Very versatile unit, good in melee combat, good at stopping melee units, and they could also disrupt from range. Shuriken pointing outwards, but he's spotted those Assault Marines, so doesn't want to settle. So as soon as you settle, they'll jump you. 463, 423. What's going on west? Rangers getting a bit too close. They have to contend now with Broodwich's Assault Marines, so going to want to try and keep them split, and very largely split as well, because it doesn't want Assault Marines to jump one squad and then run straight in and just smack on the other one. Once they get them split enough so they can't be caught by those Assault Marines in the same engagement. Bashing power again, a very quick move up here from Broodwich. He does have that flamer, very good at burning down structures and melting light infantry. Rangers taking shots though, triple Rangers from PhatE, very, very annoying. And now they have that quicker firing speed. If you get multiple, there's a rain of shots going in. Still relatively powerful shots, not as powerful as they were. I see a Purification Right Seal there. We saw the Warlock getting knocked back. Why is he keeping these guys in play with triple Rangers there? Very, very risky, and it's not going to pay off. Banshees are chasing in now. They're going to wipe the tactical Marines. No, they get away. They do have the aspect of strength, and the Ranger player is still stuck in base. There's triple Rangers and a Shuriken Cannon. That is going to be very interesting come tier 2. A tarantula turret on this east side from Ances. The sentinel gingerly pushing forward but is scared of that turret. You can't suppress sentinels since they are technically vehicles, but it will take huge amounts of damage if it gets close to that thing. Turrets, suppression turrets in a way, dealing more damage the closer you get to them. 463, 373, Broodwich with double assault marines. Not surprised really with triple rangers and a shuriken cannon. He needs those jump troops in to put pressure on quickly. Doesn't have to contend with banshees, but there is that warlock there who can counter initiate very well. Has the merciless witchblade, which is just painful. It's a fantastic tier 1 weapon. 130 damage per hit from this thing, but it's kicking off mid. Banshees going to town on those assault marines. Very lucky to get away without losing a model, but they do so. Tactical marines standing around out of cover, which is not where you want them. There's pipes right there which are heavy cover, or they could have just backed right off again. 463, 330. Look at this mass of stuff from blue team moving in a big blob, which can be, if you catch each player by themselves, can be very effective in a team game. The way to fight it, of course, is to bash power while they are blobbed and then try and flank inwards on the blob. 463, 298. Artillery spotters dropping their smoke shell from Jong skill. Reduces weapon range by 50%. I'm not sure if it also reduces your sight range. I don't think it does. He has now flanked the turret quite easily with the help of the Eldar player. Energy shield goes up. Always got to remember to put these things up. As soon as you force off a player and there's not anything obvious that needs capping, these guys are capping, as you can see. Put up those energy shields because they are a huge pain in the ass to face. Just kind of groan when you see a bunch of energy shields to get past. Tactical Marines in retreat down to a single model. These Rangers, really bad news for Tactical Marines. Do they take a model, all 3 shooting in their with their new stats? I'm not sure. Wow. And they can fire every 3 seconds or so now, I think, instead of every 5 seconds. Bang. And they still get a model even though they were retreating. That is so annoying to face. Broodwich does have double assault marines, but that Warlock is going to be painful. It's not a power melee weapon, but heavy infantry still takes full damage from melee weapons. It's only super heavy infantry and commanders in terms of infantry that doesn't take the full damage from melee, and gets another model. Broodwich under serious pressure. Voidweaver, of course, as a Warp Speeder Exarch and as an Eldar player in general, can flank and assist much quicker and much easier than 187 can. 187 getting some Stone Guard veterans. You might want to get a Razorback to facilitate assists on both sides. Whirlwind on the field from Ances. See that disruption from range. Also has a hunter killer missile which should be able to target that sentinel. Look at that disruption, doing a reasonable amount of damage given its disruption, I think. Tactical Marines on the field with a missile launcher and sergeant. Manticore though from Jong skill. Any artillery you get, you can get better. What's this sentinel up to? Taking a look at the power, but that's really risky to do so. Eldar setting up shop mid with 3 energy shields there already. The Force Commander has a Thunderhammer with Artificer Armor and Iron Halo. Still looking pretty awesome, I have to say. 463, 222. Sentinel still milling around. Is he going for rear arm hits with his missile launcher? Doesn't have a missile launcher, so what is it doing? Very, very strange. Going to lose his Sentinel for absolutely no good reason. Trying to get line of sight from Manticore and does take down the Whirlwind. So I suppose there's that. Was it really worth it? He could have just infiltrated. Well, I suppose he couldn't infiltrate anything. Just creep forward and get line of sight. 463, 194. If he was the Inquisitor, could have just infiltrated something with Interrogator's armor or something. Stone Guard veterans at the Hellfire rounds loaded in, doing damage of a time to light infantry and commanders. But in general, these days you want to use Kraken rounds against commanders. Hellfire will probably be slightly better versus commanders in retreat, or if they're standing in cover, since that damage of a time ignores the cover effect when it hits. These double Dire Avengers out of cover, in trouble. There's a nice grenade though, and 187 does not spot it quickly enough. Not sure if he could have got away unless he just straight up retreated. Banshee's now in amongst the Stone Guard veterans, and that is painful. Might have lost the entire squad if those Assault Marines didn't jump in. They do have their Sergeant, but they don't have the energy to use a Merciless Strike, and the Banshees will get away. Yes, they will. And there is Voidweaver using the Heavy Gauge Death Spin, Heavy Gauge Filament. It's an awesome ability. Not only did he get that constant knockback, but it does extra damage. It does drain your Warp Spider's energy though, and it's quite an energy intensive commander. Look at this now. Torrential turret right outside base. Manticores actually do very little damage to turrets, but they are going to help take out that Techmarine. Can the Catachans finish him off? Yes, they can. Stone Guard veterans now doing their thing to that light infantry Catachans. He's got double Manticores, has Jong skill. Look at this game. It's a single Cat blue team with a massive VP advantage. He's not going to be able to look after that turret. It was a massive risk against the double Manticores. It's not even completed, which is why it wasn't firing there. Another whirlwind though for Ances, and a Dreadnought on the way for 187. You would assume an assault cannon on this map against this Eldar, but you never know. You might go melee to punish that Warlock and the Banshees. Wraithlord on the field for Voidweaver, going towards the east side, getting the Bright Lance. Should be able to easily chase down that Whirlwind if it gets it in its sights. Spotters pushing forward. Looks like these guys have not been upgraded. They can get a tier 2 upgrade, which gives them incendiary rounds, which shares a cooldown with their standard mortar shell. Also improves the damage of that mortar shell though. Double cap for blue team, running away with this hit. Librarian on the way now for Ances to support his Devastators, I think. Scout's getting a bit too close. There's a Manticore Strike. Grenade misses everything. He's not being alive to these Manticore Strikes, is he? He knows there's 2 of them. Well, he knows there's at least 1. Ouch. Grenade taking out 2 Tactical Marines, including the Sergeant. In fact, those are Stone Guard veterans. So he doesn't have to replace the Sergeant with a power cost, at least. Merciless Switchblade Warlock up to level 2, has the Heart of Darkness and Champion's Road, makes him a very tanky and difficult to deal with Warlock. Assault Marines jump the Shuriken, mass retreat them from PhatE. Perhaps could have used a bit more finesse there. Wait for the Assault Marines to land, take shots and try and get a model off them, but the Warlock does go down. I think maybe he spotted this Dreadnought, which is why he mass retreated out. 463, 55. Mid is all red. What's going on east? Down goes the Librarian, trying to take on a Wraithlord in melee combat. Not going to work out very well for him. Ances needs support. Stone Guard veterans switching back to their Hellfire rounds, and the Whirlwind taking shots over this shot blocker since they can shoot indirectly. 458, 55. There's the 2-1 for red. Can they hold on? I think Ances needs to transition mid, because he's going to have a tough time pushing against double Manticores. As soon as he makes any kind of progress, you've always got that Manticore Strike leering its ugly head in and forcing you off. Plasma Cannon getting shots, but can't hit moving targets very well. Wraithlord has taken some damage. There's the Bright Lance doing its work on the Dreadnought, which is a melee Dreadnought, so this thing will have melee resistance, much like the Wraithlord does. Bright Lance shooting at the Stone Guard veterans, and they're shooting back with Vengeance rounds. There's double repairs, but he doesn't really want to fight this thing with such low health. Howling Banshees are there, but again, they don't really want to engage this Dreadnought either. The Emperor's Fist is nasty. 426, 55, 2-1 cap for the Space Marine red team. Looks like Ances is transitioning mid slightly. He's got his Whirlwind here anyway. Devastators are still covering this approach for no real gain. It's not like he's protecting the power. He hasn't even capped this wreck point. So I just take the mid. Try and drag their Lord General mid as well. There's the Whirlwind. Disrupted almost all of the squads there. Everything backing away from that Dreadnought. The Dreadnought is making a difference right now at the moment. Predator tank on the field for Broodwich. Also has some Vanguard veterans, I should say. First company assault marines with power melee weapons. You see that big Thunderhammer, Lightning Claw, and 2 power swords. That Thunderhammer also has a 15% chance to passively knock back enemies on hit. 395, 55. Rangers can't do a lot against a Predator tank, but this Right Lance wielding Wraithlord can. 389, 55. That Dreadnought is always lurking though.
Allies have a new war.
No sign of a las cannon. Wants to keep that auto cannon on top, or battle cannon, or whatever it's called. 380, 55. Haywire grenade on the Dreadnought, which completely shuts it down in terms of weaponry. Can't attack even in melee combat. It can still move and is still pushing it forward here. 372, 55. Yet another whirlwind on the way for Ances. Looks like he lost the one that he took mid. Wraithlord levels up to 2 just from firing its Bright Lance mostly. It did take out that Librarian though. Predator tank is chasing here. He's going for the kill on this Wraithlord. Wants to take it out now. Here are Howling Banshees, and they can slow down the Assault Marines if nothing else with a War Shout. The Assault Marines do not have their Melter Bomb, and if they did, that would have been a dead Wraithlord. But these Banshees again absolutely wrecked it. Kept them in combat way too long. Autark could not support them with her passive buff enough. The Wraithlord does live, but losing fully upgraded Banshees is never good. Always going to be painful. That 356, 55. Blue team now capping mid. Is this it? Have red team lost it right here? Good push on the west side. Taking on the Banshees is nice. The Dreadnought doing well, almost level 2. Can always transition this thing into a ranged weapon, which is nice. 356, 55. There's the 1-to-1 Wraith. Whirlwind number 3 creeping forward. Getting destroyed by Manticore strikes, I would think. The Manticores are level 2, both of them. That tells you the story right there. Such an annoying thing to deal with. Maybe get some Ogrins and try and run them in. He's got a Baneblade on the way. There you go. Who needs Ogrins? This Manticore getting way too close. Predator tank easily able to take it down. Look how slow they are. Looks like he was confused about it being there as well. Blue team taking red team's natural as the Warlock, level 3. Got a Fire Prism, has PhatE now. Such an awesome weapon platform for Eldar on this map. You can shoot to the mid from so far away, 65 range. It's pretty nuts. And those ranges as well. Good firepower from long range. There's the global repair on the Dreadnought from Ances from his global bar. Warlock finishes the cap. And he's going to stay in combat here, knowing that he has the Heart of Darkness. There it is. Puts his shield up, but then spots the Dreadnought and flees. 330, 55. Vanguard veterans jumping the Rangers, but he's kept them alive so far. PhatE, he's been a little bit itchy in terms of his retreat. Could have kept them on the field a little bit longer in a few occasions, but he's kept them alive, so that's the main thing. Fire Prism doesn't want to tangle with those Vanguard veterans on rear armor, really. Plasma Cannon covering almost the entirety of the center here. 330, 49. Another Fire Prism on the way for PhatE. 328, 49. Wraithlord now repaired going mid. This Predator tank has done well. They haven't really dealt with it, have they? Haywire grenade goes on, but what have they got to follow it up with? Not a lot. Apart from the Wraithlord itself, which is getting shots, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take it down. It's being repaired by the scouts. Down goes the Apothecary, getting way too close with his Vanguard veterans. Now Autark will hurt you. 65 power melee DPS on this thing. Predator tank gets away. Another whirlwind, this time from Broodwich, and he's floating a lot, obviously saving. He doesn't need to save. He's got enough for a Land Raider right now. Oh, it's Terminators from Broodwich then. Maybe the Cyclone Missile Launcher. 298, 49. Land Raider Redeemer is on the way for 187. Terminators supported by Land Raider and Apothecary can be very, very difficult to deal with. Warlock is Persuaded to leave. No, goes down. KY grenade on the Dreadnought. Can they finish it off? I don't think they can. Double fire prisms could try and chase. I think they should shoot at the tactical marines instead though. Those vengeance rounds can't really stand against a Walker. 276, 49, 2-to-1 cap for the red team. Cyclone missile launcher is up. Very, very bad news for fire prisms. Wow, look at the damage that thing did. It's pretty difficult to dodge as well. 268, 49. Cyclone missile launchers are amazing versus fire prisms. They have a reasonably large target to hit at, and they're only 500 hit points level 1. And you can, of course, teleport in and finish it off with a power fist if you're feeling brave. Here comes the Wraith Lord, tying up those Terminators. Doesn't want them firing those very dangerous Stormbolters. A massive running battle on this west side. It's also kicking off mid. Is that a multi-melted Dreadnought now? It is. A multi-melted Dreadnought from 187 going after the Baneblade in the background there. 252, 49. Cyclone missile launcher trying to finish off the Wraith Lord, but there's the Wraithbone self-heal in tier 3. Uh-oh, Venerable Dreadnought dropped on the Baneblade. Unique Walker to the Techmarine starts with 1750 hit points and kicks serious arse in melee, can also charge into combat. Is he going to get the Dark Age of technology on this thing? Baneblade is being chased. Manticore wants to be careful here. That was a haywire grenade. That might be a dead Dreadnought. He needs to focus the las cannons onto it if he can. It's hard to control vehicle weapons while you're moving it. Here comes the Wraith Lord though with that Bright Lance. Scouts almost taken out off the VP. Should have used the Manticore strike on the Dreadnoughts, you would think. This Dreadnought no longer has the melee resistance, of course, since it has a ranged weapon now. And down it goes, and this Venerable Dreadnought has got way overextended here. Rush of blood to the head, and he's chased it into base, trying to finish off this Baneblade. He's not going to be able to, is he? 224, 36. Wraith Lord is going into melee. I just keep it back and keep shooting that Bright Lance, because this thing has melee resistance. What's going on here? Apothecary on his feet. The Warlock still down. Down goes the Fire Prism. Was that Vanguard Veterans and rear armor combined with the Predator tank? I think it was a level 3 Predator tank. He's done really well with this thing. Has Broodwich used it very well. Venerable Dreadnought turns his attention to the Manticore, and he might finish it off. Yes, finishes it off. Stoicism, I should say, allows it to keep going for 10 seconds and eventually goes down. So loses a Manticore, but does take down a Venerable and a Space Marine Dreadnought. Here we see the Land Raider Redeemer. Allows you to reinforce around it, allows you to retreat back to it, and has some pretty powerful short-range weaponry and some decently long-range weaponry, as you can see from that twin-linked assault cannon. Some very good single-target anti-infantry damage from that thing.
I am under attack.
Sometimes the first inkling you'd get that a enemy has a Land Raider Redeemer is that assault cannon firing at you. 161, 36. 2-to-1 cap for red team. They've done a fantastic job to come back to this point, and that's a Dire Avenger squad going down. PhatE trying to push them in for a cap under heavy fire. 154, 36. Not seeing. Oh, we do see a web brigade here. No sign of any bunkers. Might want a repair bunker because there's a bunch of fire prisms and a bunch of Imperial Guard vehicles to look after. Well, 2 fire prisms and a Baneblade and a Manticore. Where is that Baneblade? Here it comes back towards the middle. Stone Guard veterans again getting away.
Sir, the advantage is ours.
139, 36. What is this? Vanguard veterans in Eldar base trying to finish off those Rangers, maybe. They do get away. There's a Cyclone missile launcher. Can't quite finish off the Rangers. They've already reinforced. What's going on mid though? Shimmer Orb is up, trying to cap with it. That gives full resistance to all range weapons, but as you can see, Vanguard veterans can still punch you in the jaw with their power fist. Down goes the Lord General. No, he lives. Shimmer Orb is still up. Baneblade thinking about going after the Land Raider Redeemer, but runs into a power fist force commander. Now Flesh Over Steel was toned down. It no longer tracks, but now has an increased casting range. You can now cast it from 8 meters away instead of 5, I believe it was. But it will no longer track, but still a massive problem for that Baneblade. I'm sure he'd love to get some Assault Terminators now. Use that Flesh Over Steel, call in the Terminators on rear armor and go to town. Down goes the Fibrism, and this level 4 Predator has been heroic. The cannon weapon team now, they will do good damage to that Predator tank. Bang! Wow, that was one shot on a level 4 Predator. 1, 2, 4, 36. Can they get a rear armor hit? No, they shoot at the Terminators mid. The Baneblade is still a big immovable object for the red team to deal with, and blue team are creeping back into this in terms of cover gained. 187 unhappy about something. Someone using pathing to their advantage, not sure. 1, 2, 4, 36. Manticore Strike doing a really good job on that Land Raider. Wow. Such a big and slow target to aim at. Is kicking off big time. What are these Terminators doing though? Way too close. I think they were trying to finish off a Fibrism, but they've used their teleport, it looks like, and are now being chased down. And there is the entangling web, which will lock anything into place, including Terminators. Really nice usage of the Shimmer Orb, trying to save the Wraith Lord there. And there's the Wraith Bone. Is it going to be enough to save this thing? Manticore might want to shoot at that Predator tank. Baneblade could come in on rear armor and fire at it as well. There's a Haywire which will prevent it from firing and might save this Wraith Lord. 1, 2, 2, 36. Leman Russ now chasing with an Executioner cannon. It's a Plasma Destroyer, I think. It's called an Executioner Leman Russ, but the actual weapon is called a Plasma Destroyer, which is a pretty damn good name for it. Tells you exactly what it's going to do. These Vanguard veterans have done really well. Level 2 only though. Chasing the Leman Russ, which got a bit too overexcited. Going after the Predator tank, which has survived. There it is. Desperate pushes from both teams. Plasma Cannon now getting shots in his Baneblade is a massive pain in the ass, but there's no repair bunker. Are you kidding me? What are you waiting for? Get one. Put it right here. 122 29 walks by the Exarch, using that Shimmer Orb to try and cap again, but there is that teleporting Power Fist Force Commander. 85 DPS heavy melee is so painful. It does a huge amount of damage per hit. Attacks quite slowly, but you want that big burst damage usually. Here comes the Apothecary, sprinting around with Armor the Apothecarian. And there's Advanced Healing, also has the Purification Right Steel and an Anointed Power Axe that will help his energy management. Massive running battle mid. Leman Russ, Executioner moving in. What is that? Is that an Eldritch Storm? No, it was a Singularity, I believe. 114 29. Terminator's getting away, but there's a big target here for a Singularity. Get a Singularity on this thing, on this massive blob of stuff, and then push in, and that's going to be nasty. There's a Manticore. Manticores do huge amounts of damage to Terminators. Wow, these guys might wipe 170 hit points on 2 models. Are you kidding me? 73 hit points, and it looks like it's going to get away. Leman Russ trying to chase, but the Executioner Plasma Destroyer does not have the range. Rocket Run, global nuke for Imperial Guard. Does he wipe out the Terminators? Not quite. They had actually reinforced off the Land Raider, but that was a pretty damn good rocket run. They didn't follow it up. They should have followed it up. I think the Baneblade is a bit nervous to push because of that Force Commander. 81-29. The red team are holding on here. What a comeback this will be if they can win this. Finally, a bunker comes in from Kim. The Land Raider doing a really good job, I should say, giving that field presence to the red team has allowed them to keep this engagement going. What is this? Some more Terminators, I assume. Yeah, it's some more Terminators from 187. Does not go for Assault Terminator to try and get on the rear armor of the Baneblade. Doesn't want to overextend them. I think he should have got... Uh-oh, Eldritch Storm on the Land Raider. Look at the damage to vehicles. Wow. And that hard stun as well. I was going to say, maybe he should get the Assault Terminators with Librarian support. But he's going for the safer option, which is, I assume, to get Cyclone missile launchers. Or launcher, I should say. The cannon still doing its thing. It's a 1-to-1 cap. The middle is uncapped. Land Raider jockeying for position now. 80-29. What's going on west side? Wraithlord chasing down Vanguard veterans, who in turn are going after the Fire Prism. Going to lose at least one model, you would think, on retreat. Yes, a sync kill from the Wraithlord. 80-29. Baneblade shooting the crap out of the Force Commander. What is he trying to do? Capping under that fire. Terminators, they don't want to take up that cap. No way. They do have this Cyclone missile launcher though. Do we have 3 of them? We do have 3 of them. Broodwich is being very, very defensive with his Terminators though. Seems to always have one eye on this west side. PhatE doing a really good job keeping Broodwich guessing. So important to pressure the natural on this map. If PhatE wasn't doing this, Broodwich could push into the mid with impunity with his double Terminators. They'll do a lot of damage, but as it stands, he's having to constantly watch for PhatE and isn't being as aggressive as he perhaps could be in the middle. Wraithlord might go down here. There's the Wraith Bone. There's Angels of Death as well from Broodwich. Still has those triple Rangers, level 2, and level 2. 80-70. Blue team have the single. They're going to get the double PhatE with that decap, which was vital. Look how vital that was, and they're going to win because of it, I think. No. Lord General's taken down on the mid VP. It's 80-2. Terminator's living very, very precariously there. They teleport out. Nice plasma grenade. Wow, they did a lot of damage. Or was that a Fire Prism shot as well? Anyway, the Avengers are going to wipe, I think, to Vanguard veterans. No, they get away. Level 3 Vanguard. 82. Is anyone capping mid? No. Nobody dares. Nothing. Oh, down goes the Fire Prism. There's nothing there to really put quick pressure on this plasma cannon. No jump troop. Maybe they should drop an Autarch on this thing. There's an Avatar on the way for PhatE. I hear an Orbital. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Has lifted some Dire Avengers and Guardsmen, but that's not a huge deal. I think it wiped the Dire Avengers. I think so. This Leman Russ Executioner is not actually close enough to the bunker to be repaired. 80-2 still. Who is going to be able to push mid? Or, perhaps more importantly, who's going to push the natural? Blue teams looks a lot more difficult to push for a moment. This Baneblade has been a constant pain in the ass. Look at the amount of float from Jong skill. Down goes another Fire Prism. Those guys are like paper right now, going down left and right. Warps and Rex up, trying to cap under Shimmer Orb. This heroic Predator takes down the Leman Russ. Terminator is trying to force melee combat on this Warp Spider. The Shimmer Orb lasts a frustratingly long time, and he's going to win the game because of it. There is a 2-1, and there is the victory for Blue team. But it was close. Massive engagement, which started like 15 minutes ago in mid and just never stopped. With that Land Raider support, red team could stay here indefinitely, and the Eldar kept flicking in and out with their Fire Prisms. Lost a bunch of them, lost at least 3 Fire Prisms I think, but the Baneblade was a constant menace with that Demolisher Cannon, of course, able to stop caps and stuff. Force Commander couldn't really get his Power Fist stuff going because teleporting in here is just a minefield. Just look at the commander's end of the game. Level 6 Lord General he had. Stabilizers. Warp Spider, Exarch fully kitted out. Does some really good stuff. Entangling Web, annoying. Terminators, Shimmer Orb, incredibly annoying for capping there in enhanced. Warp Jump Generator also had PhatE as a Really powerful Warlock with Merciless Witchblade, Champion's Robe, and Heart of Darkness was down at the end, only level 4, but was really annoying probing this VP. The Apothecary level 5, 90 Power Axe, Armor the Apothecary, and improved medical equipment at the end. Also had Purification Rites that Force Commander level 5 and down, had Artificer, Teleporter, and Power Fist, and a Techmarine with Signum and Orbs. Pretty standard loadout for a team game. There you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.